History is full of great empires: Rome, Britain, and now the United States. But how did America rise from a small group of colonies to the most powerful nation on Earth? In this video, we'll uncover that journey, from independence to global dominance, and the challenges it faces today. Before we dive in, take a second to click the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps us grow and bring you more history stories like this one. If you enjoy learning about the rise and fall of empires, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because we bring you powerful stories from history that shape our world today. Every great empire has a beginning, and the United States is no different. In the late 18th century, what began as 13 colonies on the eastern coast of North America was far from the global superpower we know today. These colonies were under British control, taxed and restricted in trade, until 1776, when they declared independence and fought the Revolutionary War. After victory, the young republic was fragile and uncertain, but it had two important advantages. First, it sat on a massive continent filled with natural resources. Second, its leaders and citizens believed the country was destined to expand. This belief was known as manifest destiny, the idea that the United States was meant to stretch across the continent from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific. Throughout the 1800s, the nation moved westward. In 1803, the Louisiana Purchase doubled the country's size. Wars with Native American nations, the annexation of Texas, the Mexican-American War, and settlement of Oregon and California extended U.S. control across the continent. By the late 19th century, the United States controlled land from coast to coast. But this expansion came at a high cost. Millions of Native Americans were displaced, their lands taken, and their cultures nearly destroyed. Expansion meant opportunity for settlers but tragedy for indigenous peoples. As the United States spread across the continent, it also grew into an industrial power. By the late 1800s, railroads connected the east and west coasts, oil and steel-fueled industries, and new factories created vast wealth. Millions of immigrants arrived, providing labor for the industrial boom and helping to build America's cultural diversity. By 1900, the United States had the largest economy in the world. Wealthy industrialists like Andrew Carnegie and John D. Rockefeller became symbols of this new age of power, and the country's influence was no longer limited to North America. Then came 1898, the Spanish-American War. Sparked by the mysterious sinking of the USS Maine in Havana Harbor, the United States declared war on Spain. The war was short, and the U.S. emerged victorious, taking control of Puerto Rico, Guam, and the Philippines, while also asserting dominance over Cuba. For the first time, the United States had colonies overseas. This was the true beginning of the American empire. Leaders like President Theodore Roosevelt pushed further, promoting naval strength and interventions abroad. Roosevelt's big stick diplomacy expanded U.S. influence across the Caribbean and Central America, where America built the Panama Canal and intervened repeatedly in local politics. The early 20th century saw the U.S. step onto the global stage. During World War I, America entered late but decisively, tipping the balance in favor of the Allies. The war demonstrated the industrial and military power of the United States. But it was after World War II that America truly emerged as the world's dominant empire. Europe and Asia were devastated by the conflict, but the United States was stronger than ever. Its factories were untouched, its military vast, and its wealth immense. From 1945 onward, America shaped the world order by building institutions like the United Nations, the World Bank, and NATO. American troops remained overseas, stationed in Europe, Asia, and beyond. Culturally, American music, movies, and consumer products spread everywhere. From Coca-Cola to jazz to Hollywood blockbusters. This era became known as the American Century. From 1945 until the early 1990s, the United States and the Soviet Union competed for global dominance in the Cold War. America promoted capitalism and democracy, while the Soviets pushed communism. The Cold War was fought not just with weapons, but with ideas, propaganda, and influence. The U.S. intervened in wars like Korea and Vietnam, often at great cost. It supported coups and regime changes in countries like Iran, Guatemala, and Chile to ensure governments stayed friendly to American interests. Military power combined with economic and cultural influence created what many historians call an informal empire. Instead of ruling colonies directly, the United States shaped the world through alliances, aid, military bases, and soft power. And When the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, the United States stood alone as the world's sole superpower. Its military was unmatched, its economy dominant, and its culture global. For a time it seemed like the American empire had no rival. The 1990s were marked by US-led interventions in the Middle East and the Balkans, while American technology companies like Microsoft and Apple expanded globally, laying the foundations of today's digital world. But the 21st century brought new challenges. The terrorist attacks of September 11, 2001, reshaped US foreign policy. America launched the War on Terror, invading Afghanistan and later Iraq. These wars lasted decades, costing trillions of dollars and thousands of lives. They weakened America's credibility in the eyes of many and stretched its military thin. At the same time, rising powers like China began challenging US dominance, both economically and militarily. Today, the United States remains powerful, but it faces questions about its role in the world and the limits of its empire. Yet even with these challenges, America's global presence remains massive. The US military maintains over 750 bases in more than 70 countries. Its economy, though rivaled by China, still drives global trade and finance. American culture, whether through Hollywood, Netflix, hip-hop, or fast food, continues to shape lifestyles across continents. And its political influence, from NATO alliances to UN leadership, ensures it remains a central actor in world affairs. So, how did the American empire start, and how did it become what it is today? It began with a fight for independence and a dream of expansion. It grew through conquest and industry, through wars that established overseas colonies, and through world wars that left the US the most powerful nation standing. It expanded further through Cold War influence, global institutions, and cultural exports. Today, the empire looks different. It is less about colonies and more about economic, military, and cultural dominance. But the result is the same. The United States has shaped the modern world more than any other power in the past century. The big question, as with every empire in history, is how long it can last. No empire has ruled forever. Rome collapsed. Britain's empire faded. Even the Soviet Union, once America's great rival, fell apart. The United States still holds immense power, but the challenges of the future, from competition with China to political divisions at home, will decide whether the American century continues or whether history begins writing the story of its decline. And that's the story of the American empire, how it started, how it grew, and where it stands today. If you enjoyed this journey through history, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and share this video with friends who love history too. Your support helps us bring more stories of nations, empires, and the lessons they leave behind. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.